What's up, everybody, and welcome down to another deliciously tasty episode of Zetro's Toxic Vault.
A special edition.
Yeah. I don't know what's about special edition. We're just doing something different.
What's the second?
I am your host, Steve Zetro Sizzle, alongside myself. I have my partner in crime, Mr. Walter Morgan. And we said when we did the recap about a month ago that we were going to explore my mother's confections. And my mother at Christmas time never bought Russell Stover or Ferrero Rocher. She didn't buy candy or cookies. She made them. And she made them from scratch. And so there was always this week. So say Christmas was on a Thursday. The Saturday before that Christmas, she was in the kitchen, and you could offer me to play pinball, play me all day at the arcade pinball, and I wasn't leaving the house on that fucking day because she wouldn't let me touch it. Only that day. You're gonna lick the spoons and lick the bowls and be able to try it. So I did, and my mother made so many different things, and Walter and I are gonna do those in time, but we did two for this time. So
and these are like recipes that have been handed down, or that she hand wrote into this book I saw, right?
Well, this is the thing. I kind of remembered how to make them, and then I moved a few years ago, and I'm into the house that I went into, and a lot of people were, like my brother and my ex-wife actually, were giving me boxes of stuff that they had from me, and I found my mother's cookbook, and I found it they had coupons in there for 15 cents off of stuff. So this is how long ago though that stuff was in there, and I went through it, and I found a lot of almost all of her candy recipes. So today's episode, and I've made them since then to see if they could do them, and I actually nailed them. So
you picked two that are just your favorites.
I say two to start out with. I always went to these when I was a kid. Of course, anything she made, and we'll continue to do the confections because I do have a lot of them. But on this one, today's episode, we will be doing fudge, chocolate fudge, and we will be making peanut brittle. So.
And what was the first? We have a whole episode we did a year or two ago.
We did. I make peanut butter cups with magic shell, and so it's kind of something to make quick. If you're a stoner, you happen to have magic shell in your cabinet, and you have peanut butter. I've done that episode.
You can go back and find.
You can have your own peanut butter cups in like 5 minutes because the magic shell dries.
It was good,
and they're killers. So. All my candy is anyway, and you're gonna love this candy if you follow my recipes and do what I tell you to do, how I tell you to do it,
step by step.
And Tim will have it on the screen, all the ingredients and all that stuff, so it'll be easy for it. And if you have a question after the episode, send me. Walter and I read them all, and if you have a question about something, I'll answer you back. But I was pretty thorough about my explanations. So you'll see when we get there and do this. So, what do you say, Walt? What do you have, Tim?
Well, next time you see us, we'll be in your kitchen, right?
That's right. We're gonna have Tim morph us to the kitchen, and are we ready?
We're ready.
Let's go. So Walter and I have morphed from the vault into my kitchen, and we are going to be making fudge. First of all, on this two-part episode of Zetro's Confections, and so. I start from the beginning. I'm going to bring you through every step and show you and tell you why I do all the ingredients the way I do. And in candy, you want everything ready to go. You don't want to have to do something while it's on the pot or it's ready to go off. So I always prepare my dishes that I have to put the candy in after. Always first. Everything's ready just so I can pop it right out. So the first thing I do, hand me that, this is what I use. This is what the fudge will go in. And this is just basically an 8x8 Pyrex pan. You can use any 8x8 pan as long as you have a 2.5-inch lip right here. And that's why, because obviously the fudge will come out of it because we're actually doing kind of a big thick fudge right there, and we want that. And what I do is I spray this with Pam. Now, I'm not going to use this, the candy's not going to go in here. Hand me that wax paper, Walt. It's going to go in here, because if you were to put the candy in here, it will stick and you will never get at it. So you will need some wax paper. What I do is I just set it right there. I pull it up a little high like that, just so it's got, and then I'll get a tear on it. All you want is a square. And then I take that, and I push the corners like that. And I know some guys get all fancy and they can cut the corners, and if you want to, you can, but once you cut the fudge, you won't even know any difference. So I don't do all that fancy stuff. I make sure that there's a bit of paper that hangs over the side, and I'll explain that later, that'll be very important. So now, what the PAM does is it holds the wax paper in place. So, basically, and so that is done. That part is finished now. Well, I'll put that over there, because when we're done with the candy, it's gonna go in there.
And so you're bringing water to boil.
Bringing water to boil, and I'll pull this pan up. Ooh, actually, I need those a little hot already. This is a Pyrex pan. All you need is water. Get a shot of the water in there, Tim. You don't need to fill it, but it's got to be boiling. This is Pyrex. It's ceramic. Do not put water and then another pan. Your chocolate will burn. Chocolate loves to burn, and this is the only way. To me, this is the way my mother did it. Actually, this is my mother's bowl that she got when she got married. So this, she got married in 1959. So that's how long this candy bowl has been around. Now, what we're gonna do, because fudge is really easy. Fudge is just 2 ingredients. It's sweetened condensed milk, this type of fudge anyway, and chocolate. Now, traditional fudge is semi-sweet chocolate and bittersweet chocolate, and that's what we're going to use today. You could use anything you want as long as you get the measurements right. Now, I have a scale and I like it. You can get this at the Sharper Image, or you can get this anywhere. You don't have to use a scale, but I like one because it's pretty precise. And what you're going to use is you're going to use 340 grams of semi-sweet chocolate, and you're going to use 340 grams of bittersweet chocolate. And that's basically all you're going to use as far as chocolate goes. It equals out to being 2 cups. So you don't need the scale if you don't have one and you just want to make it. If you even off your chocolate chips at 2 cups, you'll be fine. So our next step is to take the chocolate chips, again, 340 grams or 2 cups of each, and pour them in there. Take that one, Walt. And then, and this is going to be pretty quick from here on out, we're going to take a wire whip, and I just kind of like to kick it around just like that. And you'll see, if you look on the side, you see it already starting to melt. And the chocolate will melt. And I'm going to be honest with you, you can use other types of chocolate, but make sure you cut it up very small, because it'll have a tough time melting if it's not. So that's why I like the chocolate chips. They work the best. My mother used the chocolate chips, never had a complaint from it, and she didn't make hers dark like this. I make mine traditional fudge. I make mine with bittersweet and semi-sweet. And you think, oh, bittersweet chocolate, ew, that's gonna taste terrible. Not once you put the sweetened condensed milk in it, it all works together. So as you see, it's kind of melting.
That's melting pretty quick.
Pretty quick. So this, again, making candy, it goes pretty fast, so you kind of got to be prepared. That's why you have to have everything ready to go. And I don't necessarily wait until it's all the chips are melted out. I wait till it gets pretty loose and I can see a little bit of chunks in there, because what that'll do is that'll create chunks of chocolate in your fudge itself, and it's kind of cool having the candy in there. So that's what it looks like. And we're going to continue on here in a sec when I go to put the sweetened condensed milk in. And we're out about that part. So Tim, take a gander. You can see it's just a little chunky, but really, really smooth. Now this is going to be the next part, and this part has to go kind of quick. We're going to use 2 cans, 14-ounce sweetened condensed milk. Sweetened condensed milk. Pour it right there in the middle. Grab a spatula, because it likes to stick to the side, and you do not have time for it to whoops. You don't have time for it to drip out of the can. You got to do it right now, because this goes really, really quick. So we just kind of put it in the center. Get the most of it you can, but don't sit there and then it doesn't matter. It's not gonna, one little bit or not and is not gonna matter. Then you take the whip again, grab the side of the Pyrex and you whip it, and it's gonna start getting hard now, because in fact we can even take it off. I can come over by Walt and we can start whipping it, and it's gonna get thick and it's gonna start to get hard to move, because what's gonna happen is the sweetened milk, condensed milk, is gonna set up. You see, it's already, see how thick it's already starting to get?
And I guess always make sure that you use the thing to hold the so you don't burn your.
You will burn your hand. You will burn your hand. You will burn your hand. So it's starting to get real thick. I'm only going to keep doing this until I see that all the condensed milk is gone. Well, does it look like all the condensed milk's out of there?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, cool. So then, all we're going to do is we're going to bust that off like that the best we can.
That looks amazing.
I would, if this was I was a kid, my mother would be giving me this to lick, and then take.
We can give it to Walter.
I wish we had more time. I'd be licking it.
Okay, so then we take that, and I should have done this before. Grab one of these because it's hot.
Yep.
Pick it up like that, and just hold it, and scoop it out to the center. And all you're going to try to do is just get it with a spatula, just a rubber spatula, to get it all out of there.
It gets out of there pretty good.
And it comes out, kind of comes in a blob like that. It is the blob, Walt. It's the chocolate blob. Okay. And then what you do with this is you just take it. That's gonna be hot, bro.
Yeah.
Here, you want that? Here you go. You can do it one hand. And then what you do is you just kind of mat it and pop it out from the center, and then just kind of work it from the center out to the corners, just so you kind of get an even thing. And then you can do one of these little white things on it like you do, and then that's what it looks like right there. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna put it in the refrigerator for a while, and about 40-45 minutes in the refrigerator, and when it's done it'll be all hard and good, and I'll show you the next step after that. So let's put this in the refrigerator. And that's how you make my mom's fudge. It's pretty easy. It's just the steps are, kind of quick, as you see.
How long do you leave it in the refrigerator?
About 45 minutes or so. So we're going to leave it in the refrigerator for about 45 minutes, and we'll be back for step 3, which is the final step to get you, show you how to my fudge, and we'll see what happens after that. Have you tried Zetro's Toxic Shock? I have my own sauce from Hella Hot Sauce Company. That's right, they've made one for the show.
And they make a lot of different ones.
They make a lot of different ones, but mine's the best. Huh?
I think it's the best. It's savory, and
is.
it's not too hot. It's
but
not
it's still hot.
overpowering.
It's still hot.
That's
You can put it on anything, your pizza, just eggs.
And you sell
steak.
this on tour.
I sell it on tour, but you can go to hellahotsauce.com and get yourself a bottle.
And you'll sign it.
I will. I actually, the ones you get the ones you get at the merch booth are already signed, but I would be happy to sign your bottle. So go to hellahotsauce.com and get some Zetro's Toxic Shock now. And part 2 for the Zetro's candy confection, and we are going to make peanut brittle. Now, like I said in the studio, I don't remember my mother making this. I ran across these recipes that I didn't know existed, and since then I've made it, and I've actually gotten really good at it. And if you like peanut brittle, this is a really amazing recipe. There's just a lot of steps to it, and they're kind of crucial, so I'll walk you through it really slow, so I don't really care how long this fucking episodes take, just so I want you guys to make your confection right if you try to do this. So again, like we did with the fudge, make sure all of your ingredients are measured out and ready to go. Your pan is ready to go, and that's basically what we're going to start with because it comes so fast. So basically the first thing you need is you need a pan about this size. You can do it bigger if you want. It's only going to mean that your candy's going to get a little bigger than that. This is probably about 14 by 8. You know what I mean? It might even say on there, but I doubt it. And it's not a big like a regular cookie sheet. Real cookie sheet's a little bigger, but you can use a regular cookie sheet. And basically what you do is you need to take some butter, and I suggest butter, and smear it all over the bottom of that, and smear it really good, because you're gonna go right into the pan with your peanut brittle when it is ready, and it happens really, really fast. So, I kind of like, I put it on kind of heavy, just because I don't want it to stick by any way, shape, or form, so that's kind of how I do it. So, now what we're gonna do is this is kind of a two-part thing. So the first part we're gonna do is we're gonna take 1 cup of sugar, hand me that spatula over there, Walt, or the one that's in it. A 1/2 cup of cornstarch. And I grab a spatula and get it all out there, because the cornstarch, not cornstarch, corn syrup. See what happens when I smoke weed all morning, Walt? This is corn syrup. A 1/2 cup of, I always say cornstarch, corn syrup. 1/2 cup of corn syrup. A 1/4 teaspoon of salt, which I've already put in the sugar, and a 1/4 cup of water. And that's gonna go in the pan first. Turn your flame on to medium. Do not turn it any higher than medium. Don't try to rush the process. It's not gonna work out good for you. You will burn your candy. Also, use wooden spoons or heat temperatured spoons, because this stuff gets 310 degrees, and if you use a regular plastic or rubber one, you will melt it quickly. Found that out the hard way. So then what you want to do is you want to mix all the ingredients that are in there together over the medium heat, and you want to keep stirring it and until it turns smooth and it's a roux, and you'll see it. You'll see it. And see how you get into the corners, get all that sugar out of there, mix it up with that water and the corn syrup. And I like, and they don't endorse me, but I like Caro corn syrup. Caro's good to me. It's a Caro light corn syrup, which is fine. Also, now if you look in the pan, there's sugar on the side of the pan. What we're gonna do now is I'm gonna take this brush and I'm gonna put water in here, and while it's getting hot, I'm gonna knock that sugar down. See the sugar on the side of the pot?
Yep.
All we're gonna do is we're gonna knock it down with the water. It doesn't matter, the water won't affect the candy any. Water will cook right out of it, believe me. And you just go around it until it gets hot, and do that a little bit, and give it a stir. And again, it's not getting hot yet, so now you're also going to need a candy thermometer. You'll get these at the grocery store anywhere. They make digital ones, which are really easy. This one is not digital. I found it at the grocery store for $5. A regular meat thermometer will not work. And also at the bottom of this candy thermometer, that's where it measures the heat. Make sure when you put it on your pot that you don't touch the bottom of the pot. I already have mine figured out. I know where to put it on here so that it doesn't do that. But before you put all of your ingredients in your pot, you might want to dry fit it just to see like how far it'll sit down. See, I know where mine sits, so see how it's just, the tip is just barely sitting in there. Now, I put that in there early because it's not really ready to go, but I just wanted to show you a little bit about that. And I want to keep stirring this because the sides are starting to get hot. And again, you give it a little stir like that. You can feel it because sugar will burn. Yeah, even over a medium heat, if you leave it there, the sugar will burn. And then again, because of the sugar that stays on the side, you don't want that to burn. Just take your brush and brush it down. You will not be affecting anything anyway. So I'm going to get back to you when it starts to boil, and we'll start the next step. Okay, the mixture is now starting to bubble and starting to boil. And we need this to reach 250 degrees. So I'm going to put my candy thermometer in there. And right here, I can read it with the side. I should probably get a digital one because I do so much of this candy. And I need, yes, I do wear glasses. This is what I look like with glasses.
Yeah.
And I will need that. So we have to wait until this gets up to 250 degrees. Now, in the meantime, I just need you to keep stirring it. See the look on there? It's kind of got a glassy look to it. Not too hazy, but kind of clear. It's not burning. You no longer need to do the bringing it down on the sides. You don't have to do that anymore. So
This is candy. It goes fast.
this is candy, and it goes really, really fast. So let's see where we're at. We still got to make it to about 250 degrees, so I'm going to bring you guys back in when it's time to do that. And we're back. So now our roux for our peanut brittle has been cooking for a while. I look on the old candy thermometer, and it is 250 degrees Fahrenheit. I do Fahrenheit because I'm American. You will now add 2 tablespoons of butter and 1 cup or plus, a little bit more than a cup of peanuts. Roasted, not salted, and do not get salted, or this will not come out right. So you can get raw. You can even get raw, because this is going to get really, really hot, and they're going to cook the peanuts anyway. Also, this stuff is like fucking napalm. If you get it on you, it will burn you. So be very, very careful. This candy gets real hot, and we're not even there yet. So we're going to keep stirring this, and this is kind of the point where you have to keep stirring it, because the peanuts will actually burn on the bottom of the pot if you don't keep stirring it. So
still over a medium flame.
Oh, never touch the flame. Leave it at medium and never touch it. It'll get hot. It'll just take some time. So I'm going to bring you back when we get close to around 310 degrees, which is when we're going to add our vanilla and our baking soda, and it's going to be ready to go to the pan. So I'm going to keep stirring this till then, and I'll be back. And we are back because we are almost at 310 degrees. If Tim, take a look at it, you can see what the roux, I call it the roux, looks like right now. And it looks like we have just hit 310 degrees. We're going to turn that off. We're going to take the meat thermometer out. And we are now, keep stirring that, Walt. Now I got you here to stir. We are going to add 1.5 teaspoons, and watch your hand, back your hand up. Back your hand up, because it's going to steam. 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla and 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. I'll take over from there, and then now you're going to just stir it really, really fast. Go really, really crazy fast with it. Get that all mixed in there like that. And that's ready to go, and we just take it and dump it. And you dump it in the middle of the pan, just like that. And you try to grab all the sides and knock it all out. And you don't need to spread this. It will spread itself. It will know the thickness it needs to be, and it will spread itself.
That's what they call smart candy.
Sousa's peanut brittle.
That's what it looks like for now. If you use more vanilla, it gets a little darker. You can use cashews, you can use almonds, just make sure that they're skinned and there's no salt on them, and you're good to go. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, I'm going to put this in the freezer, and it's going to get all ready to go. It won't take that long, and when it's ready, we'll be back.
You know what I like, Walt? When I look out in the crowd and I see people wearing Zetro's Toxic Vault t-shirts.
That's got to be a good feeling.
It blows me. Sometimes I'm be singing and it kind of throws me off track because I get all excited about, oh shit, I should be singing.
All around the world, too.
Everywhere. So this is where you can get yours. Go to seasonofmist.com. And what's great about Season of Mist is they're never out of your size. They're never out of your color. You can get my prints or any of the prints they do on any dozens of things.
Custom,
hoodies.
right? Is it?
Yeah, they're custom. You say you want it on a red shirt, they'll do it on a red shirt. You want it on a shirt that's 4X, they'll do it on one of those. You want it on a hoodie, they'll put it on a hoodie.
Long
Tank
sleeve?
tops, long sleeves, everything. So go to seasonofmist.com and then just go there, search Zetro's Toxic Vault.
Get it your way.
I think we have, about 5 prints of the show now up there. And pick one out and make me proud when I'm on tour and I look out in the crowd and see it. Seasonofmist.com.
So we put the peanut brittle in the freezer just because it makes the process go a little quicker. I don't necessarily like my peanut brittle frozen or cold, but you can leave it out and it'll get to room temperature. So when you get it out, this is what it's gonna look like. It's gonna be very hard. And the reason, remember when we put all of that butter on there first? This is the reason why. Because you're just gonna take it and go and give it a little twist like that. And it comes off into a plop like that, and there is your peanut brittle, right there. Now, and that's what it looks like all finished. And basically what I do is I put it in a gallon baggie, and I drop it. In fact, I think I'll do that right now. This way your candy doesn't go anywhere. So I take a Glad gallon baggie.
This is the secret recipe, final solution.
I put the candy in there like that, and I seal it up, and I go, and there it is.
Can we do that one more time?
We can, because we want to break it
There
up.
you go.
And there's your peanut brittle right there. And that's how you make my peanut brittle. And that's how you do it. So I was checking on the fudge, and it looks like it's about ready. Let me get it out of the refrigerator freezer. Ah, there it is. And you'll know when you get it, you can touch it and nothing happens. You know if you do this number to it, and my hands are clean, it doesn't matter. I was washing my damn hands. So that's ready to go. Now, remember when I greased the pan earlier and I made the paper a little bit longer, and this is why, because this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna grab it like that, and you're gonna just give it a little pull it out. Then you're gonna take it and you're gonna turn it over like that, and you're just going to peel it,
Peels right off.
and it peels right off. And there it is. And basically you just cut into it, make little chunks, and that's how I make Zetro's fudge that my mom made, that I stole her recipe from her, and now I passed it on to you guys. I'll be doing other confections because I like to make truffles and I make clusters and I make other types of fudge. I'm a fudge guy, I like to make fudge, and I make other flavors and other types. So we'll get into that. So hope you like that. So I guess now, Walt, we need to just morph back to
Let's
the
eat
vault. We're
I'm gonna eat it.
We're gonna wait till we get back to the vault, and Walt's gonna try both the peanut brittle and the fudge when we get back there. So let's morph. What do you say? Phew. And we are back from Zetro's Toxic Kitchen, and so that's how I make my candy. And Walter's now gonna try it, and he's gonna give us his critique on.
Of course, we've broken this up the way that he did it on camera. It's crunchy.
It's gotta be.
It's
peanut brittle's
unique.
gotta be. Will it take your caps out of your teeth if you chew on it too hard?
It's
That's
good. You know, the only time you really get peanut butter is, I don't think you get a handmade one in the house, in your home, in your kitchen. You usually buy one at Disneyland or when you're around, and you don't know where it comes from, what machine.
Packaged garbage. You guys were all witnesses today how that was made.
No, it's really good. So if you like peanut butter,
Brittle.
follow.
You keep saying butter.
I know.
brittle.
Is it? It's peanut brittle.
No butter. There's no butter in brittle.
Do that
Only
again.
brittle and butter. Now,
That's part of it.
second on the list.
Are you sure? We're gonna just go through that?
We're just gonna go right to the fudge.
Okay.
Are you ready to go to the fudge? Don't tell me you're not. Come on, Walt.
I'm ready to go to the fudge.
Come on, Walt. Come on,
I'm
Walt. You
ready.
can do the fudge.
Okay.
So you have to have a piece. That was our second part with the fudge.
Well, fudge is my
Cream.
weakness. And
Is
it's
chocolate
dark
your weakness or fudge?
Well, fudge and
then you need to stay away from this recipe.
This is-
straight up.
this is dark chocolate, and it is good. It's my favorite thing that you
Well,
made.
again, I use bittersweet and semi-sweet on this type of fudge. So
Exceptional. My favorite.
okay,
definitely.
so peanut brittle, 1 out of 1 to 10.
8,
Fudge.
10.
Wow. I gotta say that to be honest with you, I just started making the brittle in the last 6 or 7 months because I found the recipe. But the fudge I've been making for a few years, so I have the fudge down. I don't even need to, like, I could make it right now in my head. I don't necessarily need the recipes. So
I give the brittle a 9. The brittle was
Tim's
phenomenal.
giving the brittle a 9.
Well,
I'm a big fan of the
There's
brittle
no
too. I think
fault in it.
I've done well with it. I think it's what you want. There's enough peanuts in it. It has the taste to it and the texture, and that's what you're looking for in candy. To me, candy is the bite, the chew, and the swallow. So all three things to me. And I think a perfect candy bar is basically a Snickers or a Baby Ruth. Has a great chew to it, has a great bite to it, and when you swallow it, you feel it going down your throat because of the peanuts and the chocolate and the nougat. So to me, that's very important in candy, to me anyway, and I feel that
people like peanut butter will love this. People that love fudge will totally love the fudge, but I'm a big fudge person,
So-
so I'll take the fudge.
we'll do some other episodes, obviously, of more of my confections. If you have any comments, well, I want to see your comments, or questions about it, or a process you weren't quite sure about, just leave us a message and we will get back to you right away on it. Although I think we were pretty thorough about my explanations when I was going through it. Obviously, the peanut brittle is a little bit more difficult because you have to watch the temperature than the fudge. The fudge is really quick, but make this for your family. Leave me a message and let me know. Subscribe if you have not subscribed. Share this with other people. You don't even have to be a metal fan to share this. Just share this with other foodies you know that wanted to see, a cool way of candy. Because I mean, honestly, it's
And what's cool is you get his mother's recipe.
This is her recipe.
And it lives on forever now. Once it's on YouTube.
well, that's why. So I've got other confections that I want to do, and I will do that. But like I said, leave me some comments, or if you have questions, get back and we'll do some more very soon here in Zetro's Talks and Paul.